Secret Savings just the leader from All Our Mob, and Larry Cassidy on Secret Savings for the Doncaster.
Spartacus wins the Mellow Colour.
Marvel Horse can't pick him up, and Yippee-Yo-Yo wins a great derby.
BMW Cox Plate for 1997 under starters orders. Off they go, and the roar from the crowd almost lifted the roof off the stand when they bounded out of the barrier. Tapp Lane is in front early, and he's going to race a bit hard down the straight. Encounter coming over from his outside gate is going up. He's in third spot now as Falante pokes up on the fence into second posse. A bit more than two to Dane Ripper on the outside of Alpha. Juggler is next as they go out of the home straight, and further back in the field then came Viali. Second last is Schubert, and Moss Downs on the fence as last as they head down past the 1600 metres mark. And Tapp Lane is a surprise leader. Wants to get his head up a little bit, and led by 2 lengths to Falante, who looks to relax beautifully in second spot. Encounter third has Alpha in the pocket. A length away Dane Ripper. Juggler on the fence on the inside of Viali, and the last couple of Moss Downs and Schubert, and the pace is very, very muddling as they swing into the back straight. They've got 1,100 metres to go in the BMW Cox Plate, and Tapp Lane speeding up a little, led by a bit more than 2 to Falante, 3/4 to Encounter, 2 to Alpha, and a half length away on the outside is his stablemate Dane Ripper, followed by Viali on the outside of Juggler, and back at the tail of the field Moss Downs and Schubert, with Larry Cassidy starting a forward move now on Schubert. Down the back straight, approaching the 800 metres mark. Tapp Lane is the leader. Falante second, going cosily. Encounter's about to take off 3 deep under his lightweight. Schubert is 4 wide now. Alpha in the all orange on the inside of Dane Ripper, and then Viali followed by Juggler, and Moss Downs is back last, but they're packing up tightly. About 6 lengths covers the field, and it's Schubert on the extreme outside making a lightning move with Encounter. They've raced up to join Falante. Falante, Encounter, and Schubert come around the turn together. Alpha is flat to the boards. Dane Ripper running a bit of a race, followed by Viali. Into the straight, Falante with the inside runnings a half length on Encounter. Will the 10-kilogram pull in the weights make the difference? Falante just in front, Encounter trying to get to him. Dane Ripper getting the rails run. Further out is Viali. It's Dane Ripper, the bolter, the despised outsider. Dane Ripper got right along the fence and came away to win the BMW Cox Plate in a boil-over. Falante has run second. Encounter might just get third in front of Viali. Schubert followed by Moss Downs. Further back is Alpha, who was beaten at the 800. Tapp Lane dropped right out of it, and Juggler has run probably the worst race of his life to finish last in the BMW Cox Plate, and Bart Cummings is a genius. Yes, it had all the drama, all the colour, all the excitement of past Cox Plates. A unique race, one of the world's greatest. And we're coming to you live today on the racing show from Moonee Valley Racecourse in Melbourne, where it's blustery for Grosby Gold Cup Day. Bart Cummings is a genius. Well, he's not going to tell you that, but I'm certainly going to say it. And congratulations, lucky. Maestro. How do you do it?
A bit of luck, I'd say.
It wasn't really an afterthought, as some people suggested. I heard you tell somebody in Sydney a month ago that you might run this mare in the Cox Plate.
Yeah, well, we nominated a couple of weeks ago, and it all depended entirely how the race was going to be run. It looked as though it would be a stop-start affair, and under those conditions I thought she'd probably outsprint them, and that's what actually turned out.
Well, Simon O'Donnell, what was your fancy in the big one?
Well, my fancy was Falante, and I've had a difficult morning on the mobile phone. I've got nothing left myself. A lot of my friends are distraught, and the man that's caused it is Bart Cummings, and a couple of my mates have actually asked this morning whether we could have his licence revoked because he's too good and shouldn't be allowed to train racehorses. I just thought last week was great to witness might and power. Yesterday was probably even better.
Shane Dye has just ridden the second winner here at Moonee Valley before racing over to join us. Shane, if Schubert had not attacked when he did, do you think Encounter might have got home?
Well, I think either Falante or Encounter would have won, there's no doubt about that, but it was about 700 metres out. It is a Cox Plate. It happens every year. You know, something from back always swoops. I believe I had every chance. You see it here, Encounter, this is just before the turn here. This is probably about 400 metres out. I thought I was going to win. They're about to turn here, which is probably 300 metres. You see Dane Ripper in behind in the black cap with the one off the fence. Damien's got nowhere to go. He doesn't know whether to go out or in, so he switches back. You see Falante just shift a bit here. And you'll see probably getting towards the winning place, John, that Falante just shifts out a bit. See here? And just gives me a bump out onto Viali, and that cost me 3rd place.
But looking at that blimp shot, you can see how wide that mare is. She's built like a tank.
Yeah, she's a terrific conformation. She's probably one of the heaviest horses in training in the stable, and so 54.5 is a luxury weight for her. She's been carrying 58 and 60 kilos in those set weight mares and fillies races or quality handicaps, and she's been very unlucky, and it's almost impossible to win. It's a pretty good fillies racing in Australia, and it carries 60 kilos. I got sick of that, so I thought I'd put her in weight for age eventually, and I thought the mile and a quarter may be a bit of a problem, but being a Sabra mare, grandson of Sir Tristram, well, we've got a shot, because this is the right track for her. She's a heavy jointed filly, and she's had a bit of joint operation in the past. This Strathayr track's a very good surface for them, and it's very yielding, and they really stretch out and they like it, so it certainly helped her anyway.
The blimp head-on, or the blimp overhead shot. He's in front here when this mare suddenly swerves left and crashes into the aluminium running rail. It appeared that she endeavoured to jump it, and Lance had a shocking fall and has fractured the femur of his left leg. In fact, he's undergoing surgery overnight.
John, you've just seen there how the rail hit his leg, and it actually split his leg and the bone popped out. And he had a plate. He had a 3-hour operation last night, and a plate and a pin got in. You see there the rail, when he fell, he hit the side of the rail and it just cut his leg.
Now, you've been to see him this morning?
Yeah, I'll be going to see him tonight, and he's in very good spirits, but he'll have to stay here in Australia for at least a week. His wife will be coming over tomorrow, and he'll be off the scene probably for 6 months.
Just stretch out on the outside. They're more than a length to Isla Tan, switching around them. And Elsie and Hope can't get out. The rest are well back, 200 out, and Shove Hog exploded to the lead. Shove Hog raced away, about 2 lengths in front, crossed over, racing very greenly in 2nd place Statements, followed by Isla Tan. But Shove Hog is going away from them in the Aurora Plate. They say he's one of the best 2-year-olds in Sydney to this stage, and he's won, pulling up by 4 lengths, Shove Hog. 2nd, Isla Tan.
Was placed at Sandown recently, and Spellmaker to join the line. Lord Bartholomew looks to be the one out, as the others are all set. The Grosby Kids Stakes, over 1,000 metres for the 2-year-olds. And Lord Bartholomew still not quite set here. Very warm day here again at Moonee Valley. Now Lord Bartholomew just about ready. I think he's in. Yes, he is now. And they're ready to go. Helavan makes a good line. Mr. Bow, Tempted Lady. Lee Flambeur. Randy's Rancher settling in the stalls. They look ready. All set for a start. They're off and running to a good start too. Gal Boss, one of the first to jump out towards the inside with Irish Squire. Now Tempted Lady's dropped back to a long last early in the piece, and Lord Bartholomew wide on the track began very quickly. And Lord Bartholomew, the outsiders, just in advance of Spellmaker, moving up in the centre, being followed by Gal Boss, and just in behind them Irish Squire. They were followed a bit further back in the field by Mr. Bow, and going fast just in behind them then. At the head of the others making up some ground would be Randy's Rancher, being followed by Lee Flambeur, and Helavan is second last, and Tempted Lady is last of all. Spellmaker going well, takes the lead a half length to Lord Bartholomew, steady moving up to be 3rd. 3 lengths further back in the field then is Mr. Bow, followed by Irish Squire, Lee Flambeur. Randy's Rancher on the outside next to long gap to Gal Boss, followed by Helavan and Tempted Lady as they're making the home turn. This leader travelling very easily into the straight. Spellmaker kicked away 2.5 lengths to Steady, who's now second, followed by Lord Bartholomew. Back behind them Mr. Bow, and coming down the outside Randy's Rancher, but Spellmaker with a big break on them, about 50 or 60 metres left to go, getting a bit tight, but he's going to hang on, and Spellmaker hangs on to score from the fast finishing Mr. Bow, with Randy's Rancher 3rd, then Steady, and back behind them came Irish Squire, Lord Bartholomew and Tempted Lady, and further back in the field Lee Flambeur, followed by Helavan, and Gull Boss has run last.
Spellmaker, $2.50, Mr. Bow, $3.10 for number 7, Randy's Rancher. That was race 3 live from Moonee Valley on Grosby Gold Cup Day, as we take this break, and more Cox Plate after this.
Cox Plate. I mean, you've won the Caulfield Melbourne Cups. Now you've won the mighty treble, Dame.
Oh, mate, whoops. It's brilliant, so.
Brilliant. Well, there's a little bit of the Perth boy coming out of him. Good on you, Damien.
Just a great win by her.
It was a fantastic win, Simon. You know, about 50 metres out, I thought she was going to win, and as I said, going to the line, well, I couldn't hold back my excitement, and as soon as I got past the post, I was almost doing cartwheels off her.
Take us through the week. Did you think early in the week you're not going to have a ride in the Cox Plate, which probably would have been disappointing?
Well, actually, a couple of weeks before, I didn't think I was going to get a ride, and I'd been ringing up the newspapers, trying to sneak my name in, so maybe someone would pick it up. But Bart rang me on Tuesday morning after track work, and that's when I picked up the ride, and I was over the moon.
Hey, congratulations! You've won Caulfield Cups, Melbourne Cups, now Cox Plate. What else is there for Damien Oliver to do?
There's plenty more big ones yet, mate, and I've got to say sorry to everyone out there for dropping the magic word after the race, but I couldn't contain my excitement.
We'll let you off. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Oh, that's all right, Damien, we understand. He does have a rather colourful turn of phrase when excited, and I think everybody in the heat of the Cox Plate yesterday was more than forgiving. But
Volante, you rode him perfectly.
I had a beautiful run, Simon. I was a little bit worried when Tapp Lane kept hanging off the track bad. He sort of got off the track bad 5 from home and sort of made it tricky. I was too far up on his outside to be coming back to the inside, and then I sort of committed to sort of roll forward with Encounter sort of right on my hammer, and then when Larry took off on Sherbet. And but look, he was gallant in defeat. He got probably tired the last sort of 30 metres, and that's where the other horses got up inside him. And
there no one in front of me. They were still pulling up when I went forward. I thought I might as well be going forward while they're coming back, than trying to go forward while they're taking off. And yeah, I was in the right spot at the right time. It was a good staying run probably for the Derby.
You led on him. Was it a disappointing run?
It was, Simon. He jumped straight into the bridle from the start and more or less just took charge of me. Going out the straight the first time, he wanted to run off the track. He continued to hang from then on, and he just gave me a nightmare ride.
We had a nice run all the way. We tacked on to Sherbet at the half mile, and he brought me right into the race on the turn. I thought we were with a good chance of winning, and he ran third. Good effort under a difficult preparation, having only the one run.
What about the tactics in the race, Greg?
Yes, well, it was a muggling run race early, but we were getting a nice run in behind Dane Ripper, and then I pulled out to follow Sherbet up, rounding the turn, and fanned out, and we had our chance when it was too good.
About 1,000 from home, the horse was travelling lovely, and went about another 200 metres, and I was spent force. Long way from home.
Why is that, Darren? Did he jar up on the track?
No. I just don't think he's been 100% right. I thought it might have been the track the other day, and he did jar up at Caulfield, but today he was beaten too far from home. The track conditions really suited him nicely, but he just never went on.
Was your last Cox Plate, as I've said, Darren? Wasn't meant to be today, but you must have enjoyed the festivities.
Oh, it was fantastic, and it's great to be able to have one under my belt. You can't win them all the time, and got to share it around.
What will you miss about the Cox Plate in the Valley?
I think the atmosphere and the good horses racing, about being able to ride good horses, all the cheers and whatever that people give you coming back in, and sometimes the booze. But, it's a great atmosphere here, Cox Plate Day.
Will you miss me, Darren?
No, I won't.
We'll miss you, Darren, that's for sure.
Ground close to the rail, into the straight, Centevi the leader, over Aussie Cozzy, Vita Scretus trying to get out of a pocket, further out is Spartacus, who might be struggling, and Al Mansour's the one in the yellow colours, he's flying, look at him go. Al Mansour swept to the lead close to home, and there's a brilliant win in the Moir. Al Mansour came away to win, Spartacus second, Aussie Cozzy third, a great little mare. Followed closely then by Tauke, Vita Scretus next, and further back Suit, followed by Centevi and the last couple of Can Grande and Paddington End.
Well, that was run at a furious pace. You knew something was going to come along and win, but you didn't think they'd win like that.
Well, when Be Discreet couldn't lead, which we didn't expect it to, and she can normally lead any races with Aussie Cozzy and Centevi, it was just made for a horse back in the field. Spartacus was off the bit from the time they jumped. He was outside me and never travelled at all, John. And I think if he can get into a nice 1,200 metres and get travelling, he's going to be very hard to beat.
This horse, I think, is very underestimated, has been very underestimated. We saw the best of him yesterday in the Moir, And I reckon he's a bit of a working man's horse too. A lovely fella, Hilton Coper, you know very well, bred him, John, up at Kelvin's side at Scone. It's great to see Hilton get a good horse. He's got a half-brother at home that he reckons just as good. I only spoke to him this morning. Tried to get it cheap, but I've done no hope. I've now publicised it. But underestimated horse, we're going to hear a lot more of him.
I think we took him for granted in the winter months in Brisbane. I didn't think he could win yesterday, but it was just an amazing performance, and he's going to win a lot more.
I think it's that Brisbane form. Sometimes we don't take it seriously down south, and I think now we really have to.
It's very strong.
You like him, Bat? Al Mansour?
Yeah, he's got a brilliant turn of foot. Finishes off very well. And he doesn't have to get too far out of the game either. So in Brisbane, I think he led all the way. Remember?
Especially our Cox Plate Day and a Group 2 event on Al Mansour today.
Yeah, that's for sure, Simon. It was a great win by that horse. Yeah, they went very fast. He got a long way back. I got a beautiful run through them, saved a lot of ground, and he really exploded between Spartacus and Aussie Cozzy when I let him go.
He's got quite an extraordinary speed of brilliance, hasn't he, when he does let go? Of course, we saw him in the Brisbane Carnival let go, and today on a good track he did the same.
Yeah, for sure. I thought he might have appreciated a bit of a softer going, and probably even a little bit further, I thought, but you know, he certainly showed today he can race on hard surface and over a short distance.
Well, you made one gentleman very happy from Nine's Wide World of Sport, and Gary Burns. He had him in the syndicate bet today, so you made one man very happy.
Oh, that's great. Good to make someone happy.
Thanks, lad.
The outside, Prefer an Angel, well clear into the straight over Skyrocket. Down the outside is Burning Embers, and Batocci is chiming in, and Spectrum is rocketing down the outside. Burning Embers and Spectrum sweep with the lead together. Spectrum going best is drawing away to win. Spectrum came away to beat Burning Embers. In third place, Batocci. Then Prefer an Angel, followed by Skyrocket, Mine Gold.
One chance. Michael Iskander, the leading Melbourne bookmaker, is already betting. He's got 3-1 encounter, a risk at the distance, but has class on his side. 7-2 Tie the Knot, 4 Schubert, 5 Brave Prince, 8-1 Bart's Horse Spying with Gold.
The Australian Gallery of Winners has just launched a limited edition Darren Weidman Commemorative Set. It includes 4 photos hand-picked by Darren himself. They're the Golden Slipper winner Inspired, the Epsom Hero Superimpose, Octagonal's mighty win in the AJC Derby, and Saintly's victory in the Melbourne Cup. Each edition is framed and includes a personally autographed portrait, Darren's career statistics, and a replica of his 1997-98 AJC Jockeys badge. This edition is limited to 500 only. On Darren's insistence, the first 10 have already been given to charity. Each edition is valued at $595, and you can make inquiries by ringing toll-free on 1800 637 393, and those lines are open Monday to Friday. Metropolitan at Randwick, and around the turn these 3 leaders are a mile ahead of the others. Linesman whacking away about 2 lengths in front of the mare Heart Ruler, going out after the leader. 4 lengths away now is Court of Honour, who's struggling, and the others are 100 yards back.
I must admit, on the day in this race, the Metropolitan, I couldn't believe these 3 horses kept going. I include Court of Honour in that. Now Linesman's just got picked up in the end of it. He's going to be particularly hard to beat today, but I also give Court of Honour a good each way.
Come back and won a 1400 metre race first up, and this is what he did last start at Moe.
They straighten up where Weidman went for home and he kicked well clear. Weidman is well out in front at the 200 metre mark. Magneto coming home well second, followed by Voodoo Beat and Toilet ahead of the others, but Weidman is travelling like a winner at the 100. He's well out in front. He's got the cup one. Weidman far too good, and Weidman wins it well. Weidman by 3.5 lengths to Voodoo Beat, ahead away third to Magneto.
Now he
Caulfield. King Ivors on the left of screen in red colours. He must have been 7 and 8 wide at one stage.
He just never got on the track, and this day that was suiting horses on the pace on the inside, and he was like 4, 5 and 8 deep down the side. He's got Jimmy on him, he's got a good barrier, he's got a great chance today. He'll be hard to beat.
Yeah, I'm definitely not the one to...
John Russell.
Soon be on their way, and they're off to a good start too. All Inquiries, one of the first to jump out towards the inside. Away quickly is Chanted. Just Nelson began very quickly, as did Just Sterling, looking for the early lead. Grand Bayers going fast just in behind them. Martago and Sir Swayze. Next to last, Merchant Bank and High Stream has got back to last. Grand Bayers the leader. Half a length and Chanted the outside, followed by Just Sterling on the rails from All Inquiries. Martago going forward, followed by Sir Swayze on the rails. A length further back to Just Nelson. A length and a half Merchant Bank over on the inside of High Stream. That's the order, 700 metres out, and Grand Bayers the leader. A length and a half Just Sterling on the inside of Chanted, being followed by Martago. Behind them All Inquiries. Sir Swayze over on the inside. Just Nelson a bit further back in the field, being followed by Merchant Bank and High Streamer. Up towards the home turn, 500 metres out. Grand Bay, a length in advance of Chanted. Half a length away, Just Sterling. All Inquiries being niggled out, followed by Martago and Just Nelson right around the outside, followed by Sir Swayze. A gap to Merchant Bank and High Stream as they're making the home turn. Grand Bay travelling well, got away by 2 lengths in advance of Just Sterling as they straighten up from Chanted, followed by Just Nelson. All Inquiries giving the leaders a long start, followed by Sir Swayze, but Grand Bay is well clear. Chanted down the outside, Just Sterling, followed by All Inquiries, but Grand Bay is well out in front and is going to win easily. Grand Bay wins it by over a length to Chanted. Just Sterling is third. Fourth home is All Inquiries, followed by Sir Swayze, High Stream, and further back Merchant Bank, followed by Just Nelson, and Martago's run last.
Sir Swayze, who was there all the way holding on. The numbers were 1, 6 and 10, $5.50 and $1.90 for Grand Bay, 9 to 2. 6 Chanted was second, paid $2.30, and number 10 Just Sterling was third, paid $3.90.
Brilliant show, good racing yesterday.
And welcome back once more to the Moonee Valley Racetrack in Melbourne for the day's feature race, the Grosby Gold Cup. Let's have a look at the tote prices. Number 1 Linesman is at 11 to 8, odds of $2.40 for a $1 investment on Super Tab. 9 to 1 Yobro, Richard Cranium is a scratching. 11 to 1 Noble Ben Barra. The former English horse now trained in South Australia, Court of Honour at 11 to 2. The former New Zealander now trained in Brisbane, Vita Man at 2 to 1. 15 to 1 Fair Bay, 25 to 1 Artistic Rose, and they're off.
Side Vitaman 2 of the first to jump out. Linesman began well. And over on the inside, Court of Honour being followed by Artistic Rose, and Fair Bay is dropping in behind them, and Noble Ben Barra has dropped out to last. Vitaman goes to the front, coming up towards the home turn in the first lap. Leads a couple of lengths to Linesman. 2 lengths further back is Court of Honour, being followed by Yobro. Artistic Man is in behind them, and a bit further back in the field, second last is Noble Ben Barra, and Fair Bay is last of all. Rounding the home turn, sorting themselves out. Vitaman going along nicely in the lead, came into the straight about 2 lengths ahead here of Linesman. A length and a half Court of Honour over on the inside of Yobro, being followed by Artistic Rose. A bit further back then is Noble Ben Barra, and Fair Bay is last of all. An even pace coming down to the judge, just over a lap to go, and the leader Vitaman. A length and a half Linesman settling well second. A length and a half then to Court of Honour, being followed by Yobro, and Artistic Rose is in behind them. Noble Ben Barra was second last, and Fair Bay is last of all as they race out of the straighter towards the 1600 metre point with that distance left to travel. Vitaman over a length in advance of Linesman, settling nicely second. A length and a half then to Court of Honour. 2 lengths further back is Yobro, being followed by Artistic Rose, and back in behind them Noble Ben Barra, and the trailer is Fair Bay. They're racing an Indian file down the side. Vitaman showing out a length and a half to Linesman second. A similar gap further back to Court of Honour, followed by Yobro. On the rails, Artistic Rose. Half a length further away, Noble Ben Barra second last, and last is Fair Bay as they sweep into the back. Just over 1,000 metres left to go in the Grosby Gold Cup. It's Vitaman cutting them along by a length in advance of Linesman, close handy. A length and a half Court of Honour, being followed by Yobro, moving around the outside of Artistic Rose and Noble Ben Barra, and moving up along the inners Fair Bay as they go by the 1,000 metre mark and up to the 900. It's Vitaman by a half length to Linesman. A length and a half Court of Honour. Yobro taking closer order. They're followed by Artistic Rose and Noble Ben Barra in behind them second last, and Fair Bay last of all with about 7 lengths covering the field. Down the skill side of the track, 700 metres left to run. Vitaman still by a half length to Linesman. In behind them, Court of Honour's had a nice run, followed by Yobro. Artistic Rose is being shaken over, and then Noble Ben Barra, followed by Fair Bay as they race up in the direction of the home turn. Vitaman still a half length. Linesman on the outside, getting a bit closer if anything, and Yobro is starting to gain ground around the outside of Court of Honour, being hard ridden at that point, and he's followed by Noble Ben Barra, Artistic Rose and Fair Bay as they come up to the home turn. Vitaman still the leader. Vitaman a half, 3/4 of a length now on Linesman. Yobro, Court of Honour in behind them, followed by Noble Ben Barra as they straight them, and Vitaman has got nicely clear. He's a length and a half. Court of Honour getting through along the inside, finishing on Linesman. I think he's beaten Linesman. Yobro coming down the outside. Court of Honour takes the lead. Yobro, Linesman racing another rep at Court of Honour just in front. Court of Honour
Court of Honour won the cup from either Linesman or Yobro. Behind them, Vitaman, followed by Noble Ben Bara. And further back, Artistic Roses run second last and Fair Bays run last.
Well, a victory to the Sweetenham Stud Syndicate with Court of Honour. Imported horse, now trained by Peter Hayes in Adelaide. Here you're seeing getting the split inside or outside of the leader, Vitaman, inside of the favourite linesman. That's Yobro in the bright green, wider out. Tooth and nail, head and head, a slog to the line, and it was the imported horse, Court of Honour, who prevailed right at the post to beat the favourite linesman, with Yobro the closest of thirds. Only the one number is official at the moment. That is Court of Honour. Into the straight, it was Vitaman in front. Now Court of Honour, Brent Thompson switches him around the leader's heels, gets inside of linesman. Yobro looked a big chance there on the outside of the four in the green colours. He couldn't quite come on. And Court of Honour, third in the recent Metropolitan handicap at Randwick, turns the tables on his conqueror linesman. He wins today. The numbers are now official. 5 Court of Honour first, linesman second, and number 2 Yobro third. And there's Brent Thompson bringing the winner Court of Honour to a halt. He's come in late on the tote. If you've backed him, the numbers were 5, 1 and 2. Number 5 Court of Honour, $6 exactly and $2.90. Number 1 linesman, $1.70. No third dividend for Yobro with only 7 runners. That was the story of the Grosby Gold Cup here at Moonee Valley in Melbourne.
So there we are, Court of Honour. Ben Thompson, as if he was boxed in there for a while. The magicians, the way they get through. He did. And don't forget, a little later today, the Waterford Crystal Mile. It's another race that we'll be bringing you. So if you want to watch the Waterford Crystal Mile, stay tuned.